want to harmonize the bioenergetic field. I did a lecture with Marcus a few years ago called Integrative Consciousness, the Information Field, and the Bioenergetic Field. What do you think those words actually mean? Integrative consciousness, the information field, and the bioenergetic field. What do these words actually mean? For the purpose of this lecture, the information field is an enormous universal body of information available to each of us through our connection to the collective unconscious, or what we call now integrative consciousness. So how can the universal field hold information that's available to your consciousness, our consciousness? Some believe the universal electromagnetic field has the ability to store information in the same way that computers store information on magnetic tapes back when computers used magnetic tapes. All information ever discovered and any emotion ever felt by anyone would be stored in this field. That's Carl Jung. And not only can we access it, we all do access it to some extent or another. Sheldrake is a physicist, and his theory of morphic resonance is very similar to Jung's, but from a different perspective. Similar forms or fields of information reverberate and exchange information within a universal life force. Vision may involve a two-way process, an inward movement of light and an outward projection of mental images. This is 1981. This is not an ancient theory. This is very modern. The short version is that we access and co-create this information field. So it's not just information coming in from universal storage of data or information and emotions. It's our outward processing and interpretation that contribute to our understanding and reception of that information. So how does the human magnetic field work? Okay. Every moving electron creates a magnetic field. That's just physics. Your body is full of moving electrons. Every tissue, every organ, the blood, all contain electrons. And every moving electron creates a magnetic field. So your body has a magnetic field. The strongest magnetic fields come from the heart and the brain. This magnetic field creates a body energetic field. Earth's magnetic field and the universal magnetic field meet and interact. The thing about magnetic fields is they don't stop. They don't have edges. Your magnetic field goes out the front, around the planet, comes back to your body in the back, and circles the planet and comes back to you. So you interact, you connect, merge, and interact with the magnetic fields of everyone and the planet and the universe. So magnetic fields from the entire universe reach and interact with the Earth's field. And your personal magnetic field interacts with the Earth's field. So we are all connected by this field to each other and to the universal field, information and emotions. Keep that in mind. So how do you access that information? Well, I propose that we access all universal information stored in the information field when our own bioenergetic field is in harmony and downloads it into our consciousness. That access creates our experience of reality. So this harmony, when our bioenergetic field is in harmony, think about what it means when a radio station is tuned precisely and the sound that's being transmitted and received is clear and undistorted. And then lack of harmony would be when that radio station is slightly off frequency. And that interferes with the download. So the harmony creates our ability to access our experience of reality without distortion. Harmony. So the harmony in your bioenergetic field determines how you connect with the information field. Our experience of reality and consciousness depends on our connection to the universal field. Remember the magnetic tapes, and on the harmony of our bioenergetic field. The interference between the information field and the bioenergetic field reduces harmony and influences the flow of energy and information and balance. Okay, so what's the bioenergetic field? For the purpose of this lecture, the bioenergetic field is the energetic field known as chi or ki, but we pronounce it chi, or prana in various cultures. So in Asia, it's chi. In Eastern cultures, it's prana. And they're pictured like this, right? So what is chi? The smooth, balanced flow of chi. Chi is your universal life force energy, is the single most important determinant to your health, vitality, and happiness. This is from the Tao. It's Taoist lineage master. From the Chi Revolution is the book. But it's your life force energy. It is this. If you take your hands, and if you'd like to do this now, it's a good exercise. If you take your hands, clap them together and rub them until they get warm, right? Everybody do this. And then you separate your hands and you bring them together. When you get to a certain place, you'll feel a sense of pressure, warmth, resistance. And it's hard, actually, to put your hands back together once you recognize that subtle energy. That's chi. Chi masters over the centuries have used this energy for health, for balance, for healing, harmonization. It is a force and it is real. Most of you can feel it. Tai Chi is a way of moving the body in such a way as to balance the acupuncture meridians to harmonize or enable the balance of flow of chi in your body. It's a broad and in many cases usable energy. So Tai Chi, chi, is a very broad and in many cases usable energy because everything is energy. Energy is the power source on which we run in all of our facets. Now, prana is energy. It's an ancient understanding of life force energy. We keep coming back to that phrase, defined in modern times. You can experience the vital force of prana through meditation, visualization, using affirmations, practicing mudras with your hands. These powerful practices can help redirect negative thoughts, free up stagnant energy in the mind, and restore harmonic balance. So your thoughts and your physical body, but your thoughts influence this flow of energy, right? Look at how it's connected. This isn't blood flow. This is prana. This is a picture of energy as it's flowing through your body. So there's the pranic body. That's a picture of it if you Google it. And it looks very similar to the human magnetic field. Look at it. It's a very similar diagram, a little bit enhanced with the pranic body, but it's similar to the human magnetic field. It's this flow of energy. So, are you made of physical matter? Or are you made of energy? Or are you energy that coalesces into a physical existence? Now, Newtonian physics describes large objects. The problem with Newtonian physics, as they found in the 40s and 50s, is that it falls apart at the molecular level, at the atomic level. The principles of Newtonian physics don't work when you get down to molecules, atoms, and especially subatomic particles. Well, the challenge for us is our bodies. Your body is a large object made of molecules, atoms, and subatomic particles held together by electromagnetic bonds at the subatomic level. All matter is energy. Think about it. This is a picture of an enzyme. This is an atomic structure diagram of an enzyme in your body. This is an atomic structure diagram of insulin. But what is it? This is an enzyme. This is fascia. What are they? They're molecules, atoms, subatomic particles held together by electromagnetic bonds. Now you have a physical body, but it is also a quantum body. We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. This is Teilhard de Chardin. He was a theologian and philosopher. And then there's Albert Einstein. He is a physicist, and physics and philosophy meet on the hill. If Einstein is correct, there is no difference between your physical existence and your spiritual existence because energy and matter are equal, although they're modified by a constant, which is the speed of light squared. So for centuries, philosophers and physicists have had this discussion, but there's no conclusion or certainty because there is no way to prove that one perspective is correct. Are you energy? Are you matter? Are you spiritual? Are you a bioenergetic field? Or are you all of the above? And that is why this has not been confirmed by independent studies. So what's harmony? If we're going to harmonize the bioenergetic field, what does harmony mean? It's the playing of musical tones together in chords, or a pleasing arrangement of parts, like feng shui. This is a pleasing arrangement, right? It is also the absence of dissonance. If you look up harmony, you get these three definitions. Harmony is difficult to describe, but you all know it when you see it or feel it. Harmonious music feels good and uplifts the heart. It's soothing. It's energizing. It's an spiritual experience. It resonates with the soul and moves the audience as one when there is harmony and when the orchestra is perfectly tuned. All right, what's resonance? We'll get back to harmony in a minute, but first you need to think about what is resonance. two tuning forks tuned to the same frequency will vibrate in resonance with each other from across the room when one tuning fork is struck. So you strike the tuning fork on the left, and without any physical connection between the two tuning forks, the tuning fork across the room will begin to vibrate, assuming they're both tuned to 128 hertz. And this wooden box open at one end will send this vibration across to this tuning fork. This tuning fork begins to vibrate, and the ball will bounce off the tuning fork, demonstrating that the tuning fork is vibrating. That's resonance. Now, resonance with the tuning fork seems very trivial, but resonance is powerful. The Tacoma Narrows Bridge was flexible, it was a new design, and it was placed across a narrow strait. There was a mild rainstorm that brought mild winds and rain, a normal rainstorm such as you would have in your neighborhood any given day. The wind caused the bridge to begin to sway. Now, when the swaying, so this was before the storm, when the swaying reached the resonant frequency that held the bridge together, now you notice all the cars are off the bridge because as the swaying started, they cleared the bridge. And there was a sine wave that showed up in the structure of the bridge. When the swing reached the resonant frequency holding the bridge together, the bridge came apart and it was destroyed. Resonance destroyed the bridge, not the force of the wind. This was not a hurricane. It was a mild rainstorm, but it was the resonance. Because the bridge could sway, the swaying reached the frequency that held the bridge together. What's resonance? Resonance is the tendency of a system or bond to oscillate at large amplitudes in response to some frequencies and not others. So the bridge was fine as long as it just swayed a little bit. But when it reached the frequency, when the swaying reached the frequency that matched the frequency that held the bridge together, the bridge began to oscillate at large amplitudes at specifically that frequency. And that's what brought the bridge down. At the resonant frequency, very small forces can produce very large amplitude vibrations. So starting in the 1700s, I think, they found that soldiers marching in step across a bridge could create a vibration that matched the frequency that held the bridge together. And the first time a bridge came down, they figured it out. And to this day, when soldiers reach the front of the bridge, the whole column breaks step. One of the students in the audience was in the military and said, "We always break step when we came to a bridge." And I never knew why until now. Because soldiers marching in step, the resonant frequency that they create when they march in step can match the frequency that holds the mechanical bonds together that hold the bridge up. That's resonance. It's very powerful. Resonance is how a singer breaks a lead crystal glass as long as it's 70% lead. There is a precise frequency holding a lead atoms together in a 70% lead crystal matrix. As long as the singer's note is precise and sustained, and that's the trick, it has to be exactly the right note, and it has to be sustained long enough that the lead atom bombs vibrate so much that they come apart. And that's how the lead crystal breaks. So how does resonance affect the bioenergetic field? Every moving electron creates a magnetic field. That's physics. Your body is full of moving electrons. Okay. Therefore, your body has a magnetic field. You with me? And your body is a biological, and energetic field. You're not just a body. You are a bioenergetic field, and every electromagnetic bond in that body and in that field has a frequency at which it resonates. When there's harmony, the bonds are strong, and the bioenergetic field is strong and clear. Now, what's discord and interference? If we're going to harmonize the bioenergetic field, that suggests that there are times when there's interference in the bioenergetic field. If something interferes with the resonance, it creates imbalance and lack of harmony. So if you put a piece of paper or a stick in between the two tuning forks and create interference between this tuning fork and that tuning fork, the second tuning fork will not hum and the ball will not bounce. So harmony, discord, and interference, if only one or two violins in an orchestra are out of tune, the harmony disappears. There's a lack of harmony. There's discord. It just doesn't sound right. Creates dissonance that's not on purpose. And you may not know how or why, but you can tell. You can feel it. It's the difference between a local orchestra and the symphony in New York or San Francisco or Berlin. So what's balance and harmony? The theory behind resonance interventions is that interference inhibits harmony, creating loss of balance and the flow of energy. So bioenergetic field and interference creates loss of balance and the flow of energy. Now, what creates lack of harmony in the bioenergetic field? Well, physiologic needs like food, water, warmth, and rest, safety, security, belongingness and love, esteem, feeling of accomplishment, accomplishing or achieving one's full potential, including creative activities. This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. What creates lack of harmony in the bioenergetic field? Any problem in any one of these areas, depending on the person. So could specific frequencies remove the interference and harmonize the bioenergetic field? The duration, frequencies, intensity, frequency, what we call these frequencies, and the descriptions of the frequency programs are based on the practical experience, such as I've had with frequency-specific microcurrent, experts, and our understanding of the interaction of frequency-modulated magnetic fields with the bioenergetic field. They haven't been confirmed by independent studies because there's no way to study them on that level. Could specific frequencies remove interference and harmonize the bioenergetic field? The Healy-McMakin frequencies are designed to support well-being through harmonization of the bioenergetic field. We have conducted unblinded before and after surveys in controlled and randomized groups of participants. These surveys suggest that the participants' well-being was higher after the application, and we attribute this to the harmonization of the bioenergetic field, which we refer to as the flow of life, traditionally also called chi or prana. This has not been confirmed by independent studies. This is not like pharmaceutical medication where you can do a double-blind placebo-controlled trial. This is hard to define. How would you measure well-being with a number that can be statistically analyzed? Could specific frequencies remove interference and harmonize the bioenergetic field? These surveys suggest that the participants' well-being was higher after the application, and we attribute this to the harmonization of the bioenergetic field. I created frequency-specific microcurrent in 1996. We started teaching it in 1997, and we've been doing that, harmonizing the bioenergetic field for over 20 years with frequencies and microcurrent. So how does this happen with just frequencies and microcurrent? Your bioenergetic field is an electromagnetic system that functions as a semiconductor network. Electrons and the magnetic field in your body flows as semiconductors that are created by the water in your body. Frequency-specific microcurrent uses frequencies to resonate with the interferences in the bioenergetic field and restore harmony. And that changes the patient's, the person's sense of well-being. They're not patients because this is not a medical device. It's the person's sense of well-being. So you can learn about frequency-specific microcurrent. The book is called The Resonance Effect, and it talks about how we develop frequency-specific microcurrent. It is available in English, German, French, Mandarin, Polish, and very soon to be Japanese. It's an easy read. It's fun. And James Oshman, who's a biophysicist, really liked it. If something interferes with resonance, it creates imbalance and lack of harmony. Oh, there we go. Okay. Two tuning forks tuned to the same frequency will vibrate in resonance with each other from across the room when one tuning fork is struck, once the interference is removed. So resonance, the frequencies appear to change the bioenergetic field electromagnetically with a specific frequency signal. Now, how's that work? Think about it. Your key remote sends a frequency exactly and only to one car. Your key fob opens only your car, even if there are 12 identical cars in a row. Your remote opens only your car with a single frequency tuned exactly to your car, even if there are 12 identical looking cars in a row. This frequency resonates with only your car. So the frequencies seem to work like that with specific interferences that interfere with the harmony of the bioenergetic field. Now, to create lasting effects or achieve lasting effects, you have to change the stable state. Now, think about water. Water is completely stable in the state of being solid as long as the surrounding environment is 0 degrees centigrade. You add energy to the system, and when it reaches 1 degree centigrade, it starts becoming a liquid. And between 1 degree centigrade and 99 degrees centigrade is completely stable as liquid. At 100 degrees centigrade, it is completely stable as steam as long as the surrounding environment stays at 100 degrees centigrade. So the correct frequencies can create changes and change the harmony of the field or the state of the field. But for these changes to be permanent, the person's metabolism, attitude, body mechanics, nutrition have to support this change in state. So, to create a stable state with meditative and energetic balancing strategies to maintain the harmonization of the bioenergetic field, you support mental calm, maintain stress reduction with diet, lifestyle. What is lifestyle? Lifestyle is sleep, exercise, mindset, how you look at your life events. And very often meditation and relaxation strategies can help maintain that positive mental interpretation of what's going on in your life. You can't control events around you. The only thing you can choose is how you respond to them. This is that reminder. The field programs of the Meg Healy are not medical applications. They're not intended to cure, treat, mitigate, diagnose, or prevent any disease or medical condition. And they shouldn't be treated as a substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. You should always seek advice from a qualified medical practitioner. Frequency-specific Meg Healy harmony. That's what this is about. I hope you use it in good health and harmony.